Hey there, Retro Games fans, this is Andy C from Pieces of 8-Bit. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be talking to you about the Retro Game Festival that I was at yesterday. Fantastic event up in Wolverhampton. Hasn't run for quite a few years, I guess due to COVID. I think the last one was in 2019. So it's been a while, but it was great fun. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what that event was about, and talk to you a little bit at the end about all the stuff that I accidentally bought while I was up there. So yeah, Retro Game Festival Revival, Game Not Over 2024 Wolverhampton. Here we go. We just arrived at Retro Revival in Wolverhampton, Game Not Over 2024. Event's not run for a few years, so we're keen to see what's inside. I've not been before. Should be really cool. Lots of arcade machines and pinball machines, lots of things for us to buy and look at. So let's go inside and check it out. So yeah, first thing you notice when you get in is just how many traders there are and how much cool stuff there is for sale. I did end up buying quite a lot of stuff, but all things that I was looking for. Loads of opportunity to pick up some retro consoles, some old games, memorabilia, all sorts really. Some quite rare items as well for sale. So for instance, I saw an Amiga 32, in fact I saw two actually that were for sale. So quite a lot to go and have a look at for that. So as we sort of headed into the main area, you could see straight away just how much stuff there was going to be to do. Number of arcade games, pinball machines, loads of old consoles and games to play on. Yeah, it was really good, and also a lot of memorabilia knocking around. So yeah, the C5, amazing piece of equipment, and there was a C5 owners club there, and we actually got to have a bit of a go, so I'll show you that in a moment too. So we knew it was going to be a good day from that moment onwards. Yeah, one of the things I think I really enjoyed was seeing some of the old tech and reimagined tech. This is an old Amiga 500 that's been revamped and added some LEDs. I thought this was absolutely fantastic. Great way of lovingly restoring some old technology. This was a Sony PSX. I've heard of these, not seen one before. Basically, this was a PlayStation 2 that actually contained a DVR, so you could record television on it, had a television tuner, that kind of thing. Great idea. First time I've seen one, so I don't know how rare they are. I think they're reasonably rare find, but yeah, that was quite cool. So this one was a Fujitsu FM Towns Marty, not something I'd ever even heard of before. Incredibly rare a piece of equipment, and I think what was really lovely about this show was that people were bringing in some of these treasured items that were clearly very rare. They were switching them on, you could go and have a play with them, and people were treating them with a huge amount of respect, even though some of them are clearly extremely valuable. Next up, sitting next to each other, we had a Sharp Twin Famicom, which was a Sharp Nintendo joint venture, I guess back in the 90s, or it might be even the 80s if it's a Famicom. And that was sitting next to a Neo Geo CDZ. Now this one I'd not heard of before, quite a rare piece of equipment. As you can see, playing Metal Slug 2, slightly more well-known game. Both of those sitting there, people having a good old play on both of those pieces of equipment as well. So yeah, they were cool to see. Again, some things I'd not seen before. Now this was a really interesting one. This was called a Sega Pluto. Again, not something I'd seen or heard of before. If this is the one that I think it is, I was chatting to someone at the fair, and they were saying that this is one of only a couple of these that actually exist. It was a prototype. The guy that owns it has it insured for an incredibly high sum. I did a bit of a look around on the web, and last auction price I could see was $85,000, but I believe it's worth a lot more than that now as well. Might be one of only two. That is assuming that this is the thing that he was talking about. I think this is that seemed to be the most expensive, rarest one that I could find. So yeah, that was a real treat to see, and again, amazing testament to the fact that something so valuable was left out for people to go and have a look at and have a play with. There were many more consoles there, but this was another one that was of particular interest to me. This was the Panasonic Q. This was something I did know about and something that I actually quite liked and would have quite liked to have had myself. So this was a Panasonic mashup with Nintendo, where they sort of attempted to take the Cube and make it a
more of a media centre themselves with full-blown DVD capability. A really nice, shiny, modern-looking unit, and yeah, I remember at the time when that came out, that was something that I wanted, but not something you could easily find from what I recall. And as I say, there were loads of others. I haven't got pictures of everything. I don't want to bore you to complete tears, but this was a little Amstrad console. Not something I even knew that Amstrad did. I don't think this one is particularly rare, actually. This wasn't in the sort of rare fine section. And then this one here is something that I definitely know and I quite liked at the time. And I did, in fact, have a go at it when it came out in London, in Oxford Street. This is the Virtual Boy, which was Nintendo's attempt at virtual reality back in the 90s. It was a complete failure. It made everybody feel sick, but it was kind of cool. You know, it was quite a novelty at the time to play. Very, very expensive. Didn't catch on, but great to see. And you could have a go with it. It was on and it was available for you to play with. So yeah, throughout the day there were lots of things that you could do, as well as just playing on the arcade games and having a look at the tech. So there was some LAN parties going on, there was a big screen with some games going on, which was really cool fun. And for me, one of the best things was seeing the Sinclair C5s, and the guy there was very trusting and let everybody go and have a go. So that's my eldest son having a bit of a go himself. I also had a go. Unfortunately, due to health and safety reasons, they weren't allowed to have the electric motors on, so I had to pedal all the way. But it was a good workout. I did a couple of laps. It was really good fun. Amazing piece of equipment, actually, and I've said for a long time that these C5s were way ahead of their time. But yeah, they were a great laugh. They were really, really comfortable, actually. Quite unusual because you had your handlebars under your legs, which is kind of odd. But you very, very quickly got used to it. And I can imagine that having the electric motor on when you use those was probably you know, a real boon. So yeah. Great fun. I really enjoyed having a go with those. Definitely recommend having a look if you can find one somewhere. So yes, that's me coming in now, getting a full workout. So obviously the main reason why we're here, well, one of the main reasons why we were here was to get and play some games. So this is my son having a go on an Amiga. I cannot for the life of me remember what this game was, but he seemed quite hooked on it for a while, despite him not being necessarily all that good. So yeah, we just kept going around and finding games on old consoles, and the kids were just really enjoying it. This was amazing. I don't know what this thing was. I'd never seen it before. It's a PlayStation device, and you can see the different colour buttons on there. Basically, a song come on. It was all in Japanese, so it was very hard to work out what was happening. And then you picked a different button. It was a bit sort of Guitar Hero-y type thing. Amazing piece of equipment. I've never seen anything quite like it before. I imagine it was quite an expensive accessory. I imagine it only came out in Japan. But yeah, I actually had another go when I was having lunch and kind of got a bit better at it. But yeah, that was fun. Then we had a go at Lotus Turbo Challenge. So if you watched my last video, you will have seen me playing Lotus Turbo Challenge very badly. What was really annoying was the fact that my son had never played Lotus Turbo Challenge before, and he managed to complete the first stage on the first time of asking, which was most annoying. Maybe I should get him to play the videos for me and I'll just commentate in future. So yeah, we had a go on a lot of different games. This is a Marvel Capcom game. I can't remember the name of it. This one was particularly amusing. This is old BBC B. This is the computer that I grew up with at school when I was a kid. My son saw it across the room, went, "Oh, that's Crossy Road." For those of you who are older, like myself, will recognise that obviously as Frogger. But he had a good go on that. He played it for quite a while actually, and he was quite enjoying that. So an absolute classic. My youngest son played Simpsons quite a bit. In fact, we left him on the Simpsons machine. He must have been on there about 20 minutes. It was free play, so he was able to kind of have a really good go on that, which was quite cool too. And of course, what arcade would be complete even without Street Fighter in some guys. There was Street Fighter 2 there. This was Street Fighter 4, which the kids had a good go on. So yeah, they really enjoyed that, and who wouldn't? Fantastic free play. Yeah, I didn't see Mortal Kombat, interestingly, but I'm sure, I imagine it was probably around some of it. There was obviously loads of your usual fighting games, so yeah, the kids really enjoyed that. Lots of button mashing happening there. So then we moved on to one of my absolute favourites, which was Outrun. Now, as you all know, for those of you who watch my channel, I do go and play at Retroids in Worcester, which has a arcade cabinet with the sit-down moving arcades. That's what you call it. You know, the moving cabinet, of which there are only 2 in the UK. I absolutely love doing that. I actually had a pretty good go on this, actually. I got to the 3rd stage on Outrun, which maybe, like as I've said before, maybe this is because I wasn't commentating. I'm obviously not particularly good when I'm trying to talk and play at the same time, but I guess that's half the fun of it. So really enjoyed getting and playing Outrun again, even in a stand-up cabinet. It's just such a fun game to play. You know, you get the music going, and it's just a real blast from the past. So there you go. That was Revival Retro Game Show, Game Not Over 2024. I probably said all that wrong. But yeah, we had a really great day. It was really good fun. I'll definitely be going next year. It was just such a great day. It was lovely seeing some of those old consoles. You know, seeing some things I'd never seen before. It was lovely that the collectors there were happy for people to go and have a play with it. Spoke to some fantastic people as well. Chatted with Retro Bear, whose channel I watch. I'll pop a link in the description. Had a really nice chat with him. Had a chat with Retro Repair Bear, in fact, who I've talked with before. I'm looking to try and get my Amiga fixed with her. Had a lovely chat with her. Had a chat with a lovely guy who was playing on Dreamcast. Big Dreamcast fan, managed to get me a deal on a Dreamcast. I'll show you that in a second. So he was really nice. So just loads of really lovely people to talk to. The guy that was running the Sinclair C5, just a really nice guy. Happy for people to kind of have a go in his C5s, which were obviously you know, quite rare pieces of equipment. Obviously not been, you know, they're over 40 years old, so that was really lovely. So it was just really, really nice to kind of chat with people and network with people. One guy that I saw that was particularly cool, he built himself an arcade game where you had the sort of like this little beam, and you moved the beam up and the ball kind of moved in, and it sort of selected a hole that you had to drop it in. It's reminiscent of a game whose name I can't remember back in the day, but he built this thing. He had this idea for it, lovingly crafted it. I chatted with him for ages. So yeah, chatted to loads. I'm sure I've missed some people. Chatted to loads of people. Chatted to a lot of the traders as well. That's probably because I spent a fair bit of money. So yeah, really, really great event. And next time you're thinking about going, I would definitely recommend it. It's a bit of a shame that it's not been running for a few years, but it was back with vengeance. So yeah. So yeah, what did I buy? I mean, I bought loads of stuff, right? So my favourite thing that I bought was I picked up a PlayStation 1, and it came boxed. It is absolutely in mint condition. It's lovely. It's in better condition than my PS5. It's like it's brand new. It's got the wrap in. It's got the original demo disc in it. It's really, really lovely. It's immaculate, and so I was really pleased about that. And I bought that for about £50. So I was absolutely over the moon at that. I also picked up PSP. So I sold my PSP. That's a Vita actually. That's on my PSP. My PSP is here. Here we go. PSP. Yeah, I will say edit that. I won't edit that. I'll just leave it, and you can just laugh at me. But yeah, I bought a PSP. So I sold my PSP. When was it? Probably about 10 years ago, before I moved house, and I put it on eBay, and I had a load of games with it, and someone somewhere has my PSP, and it was an amazing deal. And as soon as I sold it, I regretted it immediately. And so for years I've been looking for another one. I paid about £50 for that one. If you go into CEX, you can be paying upwards of sort of 90 quid. So I thought that was quite a good deal. It's not in perfect condition. but it works, and that's kind of the main thing that I wanted, really. So the other thing which I wasn't intending on buying was this. Again, some fond memories of this about 24 years ago when I lived in a house share after I finished uni. A friend of mine who I lived with borrowed his brother's Dreamcast. We played on that quite a bit. Quite a lot of Crazy Taxi, Ready to Rumble Boxing, and Sega Rally as well, which I'm trying to source on eBay at the moment, actually. So yeah, picked that up. Yeah, I wasn't intending on doing that. I totally got talked into it, but more than happy. Couldn't find Sega Rally there or Crazy Taxi, but I did manage to pick up. I picked up Virtua Fighter and also the Choo Choo Rocket, which is a game that came with the console, I believe. So I've never owned a Dreamcast. In fact, I don't think I've ever owned a Sega console of any description. So it's always been PlayStations and Nintendos in my house. So I am looking to start to get a bit of a collection of Sega console, so I will definitely be in the market for a Mega Drive at some point. Picked up a few games as well. I picked up Quake 2, most notably, and I picked up some. That was for the N64, incidentally, which was the last thing I bought when I went to the Oxford Gaming Festival, of course. Picked up a few PSP games, so. Burnout Dominator. So I've been trying to collect all of the Burnout games, which I'm looking to do a bit of a series on Burnout somewhere down the line. So I wanted to make sure that I got all of those. Picked up also Gran Turismo, which I'm also planning to do a series on. So I've got all the Gran Turismos across all of the PlayStation consoles. So I have it now for the PSP as well. And also picked up Wipeout Pulse, amongst other things. Picked up a few PS Vita games, but that was mainly due to the fact that I lost all my PS Vita games sadly a few years ago. So I picked up a few Vita games, some Lego ones, Little Big Planet, that kind of thing, and also picked up a couple of Cube games. So picked up, most importantly, probably the most frustrating game ever made. I don't know why I bought this again. Everyone was like, oh, it's an amazing game. And I remember absolutely tearing my hair out on this one. But I thought, you know what, why not? Let's give that another go. I'll be playing that on the Wii, so I no longer own my GameCube. Another regretted trade-in, unfortunately. I don't know if I'll ever get another GameCube because I can play the games on the Wii, so it's probably a bit surplus to requirements. And then I picked up something with the PlayStation 2, which I absolutely loved at the time, which was Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty. An absolutely fantastic and incredibly frustrating game. I may decide to do a review on this, actually. I know it's a little sort of beyond the 80s and 90s into the sort of 2000s, but it is such a good game that I may do a retro review on that one in the future too. So, yeah, that's it probably, I would say. Revival 2024 is done and dusted. Hopefully it will be back next year. It did say game not over, so hopefully that implies maybe there's an Easter egg in that statement there. But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to going back and going there again. So thanks ever so much for watching as usual. Please do like and subscribe to my videos. I've got a Wolfenstein 3D review coming up next. So once that's out, please go check it out. Go check out my other videos as well. Thanks ever so much for the event, Retro Revival events, and thanks to all those people that I met and spoke to yesterday as well. That was fantastic. So that's it from me for today. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you again soon.